Hello, you wonderful people. So this video is something new that I'm kind of implementing on the channel. This is kind of like a test run to see whether I'll continue it in the future or not. But this is called Watchlist, as you can tell by the title. Essentially, this is going to be kind of like, almost kind of like my version of a TV guide, essentially. Essentially, it's going to be me telling you guys about the statuses of TV shows, like more specifically when they come out and stuff like that. What I mean is like TV shows that might have been on break that are coming back, like when they come back, as well as the dates, you know, of new stuff coming out, as well as like the new seasons for things, stuff like that. Let you know the dates they come on and whatnot. Keep you updated on stuff like that. In my mind, it's kind of like a once a month type of thing. So like I said, this video is just kind of like a test to see how it is, and I'll, you know, obviously I'll be making some changes in the future, but for now I'm just going to do kind of a dry run. So do note that everything on this list is typically stuff that I'm either watching or stuff that I'm interested in, you know, when it comes to like new stuff that's coming out. It will not be like a full list of literally everything that's coming out. It's just stuff that I'm interested in. So, but you know, whatever, just let's get into it. For January 2017, yay 2017, for the first week, on January 2nd, we have that new show on Freeform called Beyond. Now, obviously, I've not really looked too much into the show. The little bit I know about it is just from what I've seen in the commercial breaks. And tone-wise, it kind of reminds me of Kyle XY, if anyone's ever seen that show. It seems like it might not necessarily have the mystery element that Kyle XY did, but it seems like it might be there to a certain extent. Just tone-wise, it seems very similar to Kyle XY. There was another show that kind of came to my mind, The Tomorrow People. Like, it seems like it might be a mix between those, just kind of like what it seems like the plot's about, as well as kind of the tone. And to anyone that doesn't know, like the plot's essentially, from what I've picked up, this boy's been in a coma for like 12 years, but it wasn't a normal coma. Like he was actually somewhere else while he was in this coma. Nevertheless, he wakes up and he has essentially powers. What those powers really entail, I don't know. And basically dealing with the fact is that people are hunting him down because he has these powers. It does seem like they're doing a very interesting thing. Obviously it is coming out January 2nd. It'll be a double premiere, but it also seems like, from what I've heard, it seems like Freeform will also be streaming the full season too, so that's kind of interesting. The only time I've ever seen something like that was with the Shannara Chronicles. I think it was like the first 4 episodes were on like the MTV app or something like that. So I mean, if you are interested, you can check that out too. I think it's after the first episode airs, you can check out the Freeform app and it'll be all the rest of this season already there. I don't know. I do highly recommend you look into it yourself. I could be completely getting details wrong. So on January 3rd, Bull and Teen Wolf return. And on January 4th, we have Lethal Weapon, Blind Spot, and Frequency coming back. As well as on January 5th, we have the return of The Blacklist as well. And then on January 6th, we have Grimm coming back for its final season, which I'm like super bummed to hear that. Super bummed to find that out. But I'm super excited to see what they do with it. How this will all be wrapped up, as well as the Sleepy Hollow season premiere, which I'm definitely very interested in because I'm curious to see what kind of changes they make. Because I remember reading an article or something a little while back where they were basically saying that Ichabod would be the only character returning this season because it's basically a new setting. So basically you won't be seeing Jenny, as well as, you know, even characters you met last season like Reynolds, as well as Sophie. Which to me, when I read that, I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, especially because you went through the trouble of introducing characters like Reynolds and Sophie. I thought you would be doing more with them, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, don't hold me to that. It's been a while since I looked that up, and it was just something I read a little bit about. So, I mean, maybe subsequently since then, it's been revealed that that was wrong or something, so don't quote me on that. So I'm just interested to see, because I'm not really going to look it up myself. I'm going to go in blind, so I'm very interested to see whether that's really the case or not. And also there's going to be this new show on NBC called Emerald City. Obviously it's kind of Wizard of Oz type of show. I think I've seen like one commercial for it. I just happened to be looking through the guide and happened to see, I was like, oh yeah, that comes on after Grimm. So I mean, I'll be kind of interested to see that. Now, I don't know for sure if I'll like really discuss that for the podcast or anything like that, but I definitely will be checking out just kind of in my free time. So on week 2, January 8th, Elementary returns. On January 10th, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. comes back. On January 12th, Colony Season 2 premieres, which I'm going to have to go back and rewatch Season 1 before that happens, because I'm going to try and do that from now on, like rewatching like previous seasons, so shows are clearer in my head when I watch the new season. So I'm gonna have to do that. It shouldn't take me that long. It is on Netflix too, so I mean, in case you are curious about it and want to catch up, before the new season too. And on January 13th, the Vampire Diaries return. This special, I'm very interested to see where that goes with all the developments of what happened, where we ended up off at, Stefan and Damon kind of working together under Cade's order. But I mean, no point in getting it too into that, On week 3, January 16th, we had the return of Lucifer, Gotham, and Timeless. And on January 19th, we had the season premiere of Scandal, which I won't be watching because I'm like super far behind on Scandal. I mean, maybe by the time, I'll probably have, there's like plenty enough time in between there for me to catch up, but there's other stuff on my plate too, so I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. And even if I do catch up, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to cover that podcast wise. I'll probably watch it, but I don't know if I'll cover it podcast wise. I don't know. If you'd want me to, do let me know in the comments down below. So I mean, I don't know. It's a show I like. I just got too far behind on it. It's kind of essentially the Supernatural problem, where it's just like I got too far behind and just didn't bother catching up in time. So, but like I said, there's still time for me to catch up. So we'll just have to wait and see. Week 4, we had the return of Supergirl on the 23rd, which this is like the first episode since the crossover, which is very interesting because every other show, with the whole Arrowverse, DC, every other show had a mid-season finale except for it. I'm guessing episode, was it 8? It's called Medusa. It was the first episode of the crossover. I guess that counted as its mid-season finale, maybe. And on January 24th, we have the return of The Flash. But not just The Flash, we also have the return of Legends of Tomorrow. Yes, it is on a new night. It's going to be following The Flash, so just keep that in mind in case you might have didn't catch that. After the mid-season finale, that was something I know, and I thought that was kind of interesting. I was like, I wonder why they decided to do that. Nevertheless, I mean, just to keep you informed, that is what's happening. So Legends of Tomorrow is going to be on Tuesdays now, so I'm very curious to see how that affects everything else, especially like production schedule wise with like the other TV shows, is because I feel like them being in the specific order they're in, I don't know, with the whole time travel thing, it's like, to me, I feel like you'd want to have stuff happen in Arrow first before you get to what happens in Legends, because it shows kind of, I mean, especially Legends being a time travel show, obviously it affects the other TV shows with the exception of Supergirl, because that's on a different Earth and everything. I know this isn't really the place to be having that discussion, but still, it's just, I don't know, it's a very interesting choice. I'm curious why they decided to do that and what that means for just the shows themselves. I mean, it might not mean much, it might not change anything, but still, just thought that was kind of interesting. On January 25th, we have the return of Arrow, as well as the Magicians season premiere. I'm going to have to go back and rewatch the Magicians. Like, I know Sci-Fi had an uncensored version that you can watch, it's on DVD and stuff like that. You can also watch it on demand. I did recently, over the weekend, find out that it's also on Netflix. I'm curious, do they have the, uncensored version or not? But either way, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that, because there's a lot of stuff I was being stupid about when it came to that season, just because it's like a lot of stuff went over my head, just because I didn't grasp stuff as quickly. I think that was mainly because at that time I was kind of doing too much at that time and wasn't really organized on how I did things, so I was just kind of rushing to get a lot of stuff done. But now I'm kind of taking a little bit more time with everything, so maybe this season will be a little more different. Maybe I'll grasp things, but there's a lot of stuff that I'm let slipping in my mind when it comes to the Magician. So I definitely feel like I need to recap on the season to kind of remember what happened. So, and then finally on January 26th, Supernatural returns. I won't be covering that for the podcast. I have been keeping up with it ever since I made that video a little while back about me catching up on it. I just haven't done anything for it. If you want me to, I can, but for right now, I'm just gonna watch it and not do anything with it. So that is all I have on my list. Obviously there's other stuff coming out, so do listen to stuff in the comments down below. Anything that you might be interested in that you want to let other people know. It's like, oh, this is coming out this month or whatever. Just because I didn't bring it up doesn't mean you shouldn't mention it, because it's like, these are just, like I said, these are all tailored to what I watch. And I have as you can tell, I've had very specific taste in what I watch. So let me kind of get some feedback from you. Like I said, this is a very dry run. I'll probably be doing this a little bit differently in the future, but nevertheless, what would you like? Would you like to hear other things besides TV show, like anime, maybe some movie dates and stuff like that? Do let me know. Any critiques. All criticism is welcomed. I just want to kind of yeah, I thought it was a very interesting idea, and I just kind of want to try it out, and you know, but really that's all I want to talk about in this video. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.